In this problem, it says write the equation that represents the line that goes through the point 5, 1 and has a slope of 4/5. So it gives me these key information. It gives me this 1 point, and it even gives me this slope. And it wants me to write an equation. Well, I know when we're writing an equation, it's usually going to be in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. But it gives me a point and it gives me a slope. So I'm going to write those information out so I'm only seeing the key things from this problem. Introducing you to a new formula called point slope formula, where we're going to be plugging in information from what we have. It tells me that is y minus y1 is equal to m outside of the parentheses of x minus x1. I'm going to be plugging in the information I do know. So in this point, I know I have an x value. Since it is a point, it's actually going to be x1 and y1. I'm going to be plugging this in to this equation. So my very first y in this equation does not change. So it's going to be y minus, I now see y1, and y1 is going to be substituted in with the number positive 1. And then it has the equal sign. Now I have m, which is my slope. And I'm going to be substituting it in with this 4/5. My y1 is grabbing from that point, which is the number 5. Now I have this. Well, I know I eventually want to find my y equals mx plus b slope-intercept form. I know I could actually make this equation into slope-intercept. All I have to do is simplify this equation. The very first thing I see is that I have a set of parentheses. That means I am going to distribute that fraction of 4/5 to every single term inside. 5 times x, which is the same as 1x, will give me 4/5x. Now 4/5 times -5, I know that is going to give me a -4. You might be asking me, how did I get that -4? I'm going to do the math. I might be wondering how I got that -4. So if I did 4/5 times a -5/1, remember, if it's a whole number, all I have to do is put it over 1, and all I have to do is multiply. -4 times 5 gives me -20. 5 times 1 gives me 5. I know -4 divided by 5 gives me a -4. And that's how I got -4 for right here. I'm now done simplifying on the right-hand side. I'm going to drop the left-hand side. On the left-hand side, I want y by itself. This moment I see y minus 1. I want to get rid of that -1 and move it over. The inverse operation of -1 is a positive 1. So I'm going to add a positive 1 to each side. So that does mean on the left-hand side, those ones will cancel each other out. Right? And then I have 4/5x, which remains the same. And then I have -4 plus 1, which will give me a -3 back. And that is my equation. Just to recap what I did, I grabbed my key information that I needed. I know I needed the point. I know the point has an x and y value, so it's going to be x1, y1. I grabbed the slope, which was given to me, and then I put it in this new equation that I introduced to you today. It is called point slope formula, and I put all the key information I need inside that formula. As soon as I was done with that, all I had to do was simplify, meaning I needed y by itself. So I distribute the 4/5 inside the parentheses. As soon as I was done distributing, I grabbed whatever constant was on the left-hand side and moved it over, doing the inverse operation, of course, and I ended up getting the new equation of y is equal to 4 divided by 5x minus 3.